trying to finish this barn board before, I don't know, just not let it sit like most of my other crafty projects. So I'm wanting to actually really try and get this thing done. So I'm right back here. We were painting this together yesterday, and I'm gonna paint it again today. But I hope you guys are having a good Sunday so far. We have church here soon in the next, probably in like the next hour and a half. Our church is kind of far away for us, so it's an early service, so it's just combo of kind of having to get up early and leave early. But that's okay. We love our church, so it's worth it. But definitely makes for early Sundays for sure. So I'm just gonna paint the sun here. I think I'm gonna do it yellow. You guys have any color recommendations for the turnips? And I think I'm gonna make them another beet. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. But also, happy Mother's Day to everyone. All the moms out there. I don't even know what we're doing today, to be honest. I honestly just want to keep getting stuff done in the garden. My husband was a huge help to me yesterday, planting 3 new trees that I got. I got a peach tree and a pear tree and a cherry tree. And so I'm super excited about those. That's like one thing I really wanted to get into the garden before kind of like the season passed, because with trees you just have to wait so long for them to like actually fruit, be fruitful. Um, and so, because that can take like 5 or more years, and like, God forbid that they get eaten or die before that even happens, and you have to start all over. So we put them up yesterday, and my husband's gonna put some fencing around it today. Um, and so just to have some green on this thing. And so yeah, we got those in yesterday, and then I got like maybe half of my tomatoes in. I was getting just absolutely eviscerated from mosquitoes. I am just like not looking forward to mosquito season. I absolutely love this weather, that it's like kind of on like the 70s. It's like it's mostly comfortable. Once it gets into the 80s, I don't know. My Midwestern heart is just like that's too hot, especially being pregnant. I feel like when you're pregnant, it's like it feels 10 times hotter than it is. And I'm only gonna get bigger as I approach my due date. So this is my first actually like full on summer pregnancy. Like all my other pregnancies, I have just been like not that pregnant during summer. So this will definitely be an experience for me. If you've had a summer pregnancy, I'm open to tips to make it more comfortable. But yeah, we got the tomatoes in. I have a few tomato plants that like after I bought it, I'm not sure they're gonna actually survive. Um, like actually being planted. They were looking a little bit sad. I don't know if it's like the transport, or they've been kind of sitting in their pots for a little, like for a couple of days since we bought them. So they're looking a little sad. I'm hoping with some watering, and I propped them up. I did what's called like I think it's called like a Florida weave to put to prop my tomato plants up. And so I'll show you guys a video. I'm sure I'll put out a garden tour video um, in the next like week or so. I've got a lot of it filmed. I just have to kind of finish it up. But I'll show you guys how I did my tomatoes. This is the first year that I'm doing it. But it's called a Florida weave, and you kind of put like 2 T-posts at the end, and then you just kind of weave like some tomato trellis, like how it's like rope, I guess, twine, um, like through the ends, and then you kind of just like support them. And so you do that like multiple levels on the tomatoes, and that is supposed to kind of keep them up. It's a little bit more cost effective than using a bunch of tomato cages, because those are like really expensive. And I'm hoping to do like 40 tomato plants. So I think they're like at least like 10 in my area per cage. And so if you multiply that by 40, it's those are gonna get some expensive tomatoes. So this cost me like 15 bucks to trellis like 8. And so, and plus they're like so much easier to store. So for next year, like I'll have all of my stuff ready. I'll probably have to buy new twine, but that was pretty cheap. I don't think it was over a couple of bucks. So like that's just a way more affordable way to like trellis up your tomatoes if you're looking for one. And there's like other similar versions of that that like use PVC piping and stuff, and you like tie up um, your tomato plants. That one seemed a little bit more complicated to me, and you have to get clips and stuff. And I know my aunt does that in her greenhouse, and I'm sure she'd be happy to teach me how to do that. But like for me, yesterday when I was looking through videos on like what I should do, that one just seemed the most approachable for me to do and for me to maintain too when my husband is deployed. So I was just kind of looking for the easiest thing for me. And I think I could probably do something similar for my peppers too, which I will hopefully be planting this week. I saw it's supposed to get down to 60. I mean, I'm honestly a little bit early for my area to be putting tomatoes in the ground. Usually we wait until Memorial Day, but it's been so nice. And I went to an auction, which if you look at my videos, I just posted really just like a very simple video of just me going through the greenhouses and showing you guys all of the really beautiful flowers that they had. But I got tomato plants for like 25 cents each, and these are like probably at least like 2 to 3 feet tall tomato plants. Like they're very established, and so like it was such a deal, which I was very thankful for because as I talked about yesterday, I tried to grow my own seedlings this year. It did not work out. I'll have to show you guys a video. Actually, like just before I hopped on here, I had them out on the windowsill just to see if putting them out in the sun would actually make them grow any better than being under the grow light. So far it hasn't, but one of them knocked over off of the patio. Like I had it on the railing, and all of a sudden I heard this like big crash. And I was like, what was that? And it was my like part of my tomato plants. Thankfully, I already have enough for the season, so I'm not like dependent on those. But I definitely have a lot to learn on growing my own seedlings. But for 25 cents each, you just really can't feed it. And those are like grown, I wouldn't say probably not 100% organically. I don't think the Amish in my mom's area are like 100% organic. Some of them that are, but I do think that they're probably much better than what you would find at like a Lowe's or even some of like the local nurseries. So I feel good about kind of the quality of the tomatoes that we got. So yeah, anyways, I had to plant them now because I didn't want them to sit in their little pots. I didn't have enough space in my grow area to try to keep them alive, and honestly, I'm not sure it's like a good environment for them anyways. So it's been nice enough, and I decided I'm like, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see if they stay, um, and hopefully they're good. And maybe I'll be buying more tomato plants in a couple weeks if they don't survive any of the colder weather we get. But I don't know. It's been like in the 70s, 80s. I think it's supposed to get to 60 some point next week and rain a little bit. So that could be a little problematic. But as long as it's not freezing, like or like doesn't hail or something, then I think we should be good. But I'm just gonna watch, and I do have like frost covers too, so just in case like it does get kind of bad. So yeah, but yeah, if you're just joining, if you guys have any Mother's Day plans, I'd love to hear them. Um, I really honestly don't think we're doing anything. My husband talked about going to a restaurant, and I was like, I absolutely do not want to sit in a restaurant and wait like an hour to eat food, especially with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And so, because I imagine that everything is going to be packed, and especially like there's not a lot of options around here. We live pretty rural. So I just have to imagine like whatever is around here that has like a halfway decent brunch or lunch or dinner is gonna be packed. And so I don't know. I just like hate waiting in restaurants, um, especially with kids, because it's just like it's so hard to kind of like entertain them that long, and kind of keep them occupied. So, and we're not like phone parents at the table, and no, no shame on you guys if you are, but we really try to just kind of avoid that. Like we do TV at home, probably too much, but that's just something we try to avoid when we're out, just to kind of like keep them engaged in what's going on. So, but anyways, it kind of does make it harder for us to go out to a restaurant. So, yeah. But anyways, we are probably just gonna hang out here, have a good day together, go to church. Hopefully, I bet there's probably something going on at church too, but honestly, I don't know what colors potato flowers are. I'm using white and purple. Hopefully that's good. I'll have to look up to see. I don't remember when I grew potatoes last time what they ended up looking like. Actually, some of my potatoes I saw are coming up, not a lot though, which makes me feel a little nervous, because I would think that more would be coming up, especially like I planted them over a few days, and some of the ones that I planted a little bit later are coming up, and some of the ones that I planted earlier aren't. And so I don't know, I'm like, I hope that they're not like dead or rotting down there or something. But my garlic is looking really good, which is really exciting. I'm hoping we actually have something to harvest. And I got a bunch more onions too this last weekend. So I'm probably gonna have in total, I don't know, probably like 60 to 70 onions. Honestly, it's like probably not enough for us. But I am just kind of learning to figure out like how much we need probably. And I don't know, I'm trying to use up all the bed space. We actually have a lot. Like we have 7 raised beds, and then we have an area that has that's like in ground. But I find myself that I'm like already running out of space. Like pretty much all of my beds are claimed as far as like things that are going in it. Like I have two beds dedicated to tomatoes, and I'm probably gonna have to figure out where some more are going. I'm trying to do 16 per bed. I have 12-foot beds, 12 by 4 foot. And so it's definitely going to be like crowded for tomatoes, but I'm just trying to see like how much I can maximize my space in there. But with that said, like and then the last remaining bed is going to probably go to onions again. And I feel like I could probably fit more things in there. But I'm kind of just like figuring out how much I can really like push space and stuff, because I don't want to like overcrowd anything. But I got to figure out somewhere to go with my peppers still, my squash. So I don't know. I'm finding, even though I have a lot of space, I'm running out of space already. But I guess that's maybe a good problem to have. But I don't know. I have to figure out how to kind of like go up, I think. Hey guys, welcome if you're just joining. I'm just painting this barn board to go in my garden. And we're just chatting about the garden. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat. Just chatting away on this Mother's Day morning. I'm taking my time to myself before my kids get up. If you're a mom, you know, you know. So I think I'm gonna do like a pink on this side, white and pink. And I think that'll be kind of radishy. And not radish, turnipy. So, and then maybe I'll do that as like a radish and do, maybe that's too much white and pink together. I don't know. If you have any suggestions on what I should make these last two, I'm not really sure I'm sold on either one. Get this in frame, but also not get paint all over me. Alright, so we'll just kind of like, we'll put this red down. And I'm gonna try and mix up some white in here. Honestly, I should probably do this on like a piece of paper on the side, but I don't want to get up and get fresh paper, so we're just gonna roll with it. I'm curious to hear about what everyone's weather is like by then. It's a little chilly this morning, but I think it's supposed to get up to 70. Hiccups. Hey guys, welcome. Just painted this barn board up for my garden. I'm so excited about it. So some of the other things I have to figure out for the garden is how I'm gonna do my squash. I haven't decided if I'm going to direct sow it yet, or if I'm gonna buy some starts from a nursery. I feel like my squash never get big enough when I direct sow, but honestly it could just be like maybe I'm not fertilizing it enough, or maybe I don't know, like I'm just not sure. I just never can be that successful with squash, and I know a lot of people say it's really easy to grow, but mine just like don't get big. And so I'm thinking I might just get some, like bite the bullet, spend some money and get some at a nursery instead of trying to direct sow them. Like even though it's way cheaper just to buy the seeds and direct sow. I don't think I want an orange. Well, I'll do orange. So yeah, I don't know. If anyone has any tips on growing squash, I am open because it has always been a struggle for me to get successful squash going. But I think I'm gonna trellis them up this year, and maybe that will help, like kind of prevent some disease and maybe just like have them grow a little bit more. One thing I really want to do One thing I really want to do this year is make one of those like arched trellises for the garden and like put pumpkins or something really cool that like hangs, maybe loofahs or something that like hangs over. Um, but my biggest obstacle there is I have to get a cattle panel, and the cattle panels are 16 feet long. And since they're so long, I don't know how to take them home. I have a van and I can fit something that's 12 feet long. Like I've fit 12 feet boards in there before, but I don't think I could fit a cattle panel for sure, unless maybe it would bend a little bit. But I really want to have like a big arch, so I'm just like not sure how to get that done. So I think I'm just gonna mix colors for this beet, like an orangey red beet. And hopefully it looks different enough from the one before. What do you guys think so far? I think it's really coming along. Honestly, I might be able to finish this today or tomorrow, which would be really exciting. And as a mom, I feel like I struggle to get any crafts done, so this would feel really rewarding to get this done. Alright, so I gotta figure out what color to make the other potato flower. I have to finish the green around here, and then I think I just kind of have to do the background. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna do. I think I have this blue here, but I'm not sure. I think that would be good. What do you guys think? A blue background? Alright, so let's see. I gotta finish up some of the green. Hey guys, just painting this board on Mother's Day. Just getting this ready for the garden. Trying to get some time in before my kids get up. I'm actually surprised they're still sleeping 7 o'clock by me. But they have been going to bed later and later. And trying to figure out how to get them in bed sooner, but I don't know. Sometimes I kind of don't actually mind because I usually go to bed pretty early anyways, and so like I'm not one to stay up late after the kids too much, and I kind of enjoy my morning time more. So this honestly just kind of lets me have more of a morning, but sometimes they go to bed really late, and then it makes it hard to have any morning because I'm too tired. So we're trying to find that balance for sure, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy having some time in the morning, especially as a stay-at-home mom, because I then get just some time to myself a little bit. And even when I was working, which wasn't that long ago, I'm a new to the stay-at-home mom club for sure. But I just always have enjoyed my morning time, even before kids. I've always been a morning person. I find that as a mom, I'm less of a morning person actually. Um, like I used to never sleep in ever, but like once I became a mom, if my kids slept in, like you bet I was sleeping in too, because I was tired. I mean, getting up, especially if their kids aren't sleeping through the night. Like, I feel like there's a lot of push for moms to like get up early before their kids and stuff. But I think you have to really like know what season of life you're in. Like if your kids aren't sleeping through the night, like you should probably not be getting up really early. Like you should just be trying to get as much sleep as you can. Like so just know like what season are you in? Because if you're not getting more than like 6 hours of sleep, you should probably just sleep instead of get up and be whatever level of productive you feel like you should be because trust me, being like getting sleep is way more productive than like getting up and doing some sort of anything, you whatever you want to do. I just think that we as a society don't prioritize sleep enough, and I think that's why a lot of us are just like short-tempered and angry. And I find that I'm more patient with like my family when I've had enough sleep. If I haven't had enough sleep, I find myself kind of snapping easier, maybe just like being a lot more grumpy. I find I'm eating a lot more too, just to like try and get energy. My body like craves more food because I haven't had enough sleep. So it's like, okay, let's get some energy that way. So I don't know. Like if you are in a season where your kids are sleeping, maybe try getting up early and see if you like it. But I know like my husband is the biggest night owl. He'll always be the biggest night owl. He'll never be like a huge morning person, and that's fine. Like you don't always have to do whatever like the trends are. You can still be wildly successful and be a night owl. Like you gotta like figure out what's like good for you. And I think honestly the biggest thing is like as much as possible, which obviously keeping a consistent sleep schedule with kids is like laughable, but as much as you can try to keep your sleep schedule consistent. Like that's what's the best for your body. So if that is, you know, staying up until 11 midnight every night, if you're consistent with that and you consistently get up at the same time, like that's better for your body than I think like varying all of your sleep time. There's like a lot of study on that. Plus, once the baby comes, I will definitely not have time to get up early, and especially probably managing 3 kids on my own. I will probably just take as much sleep as I can whenever I can get it. So I'm just enjoying the time that I have to get up early while I can, because I know that that's definitely going to be changing soon once baby number 3 comes. So, all right, I think we're ready to paint this background, which is exciting. I'm probably going to have some touch-ups to go back and do once I take a look at this more, but I think this is really cool. So I'm going to do the top blue, but I'm debating if I want to do the bottom blue as well, or to try and make that like, I don't know, like a dirt, but I don't know if that's gonna look as nice as like if everything is just blue. I think the sample one that my mom did, everything was blue and it looked really nice. The great thing is if I decide I want to change it back to blue, this paint is super easy to paint over, so it's not like I'm stuck with my choice forever. But I don't know, if you guys have an opinion if I should make, it's like if you look at this is the sky up here, and then there's a line here, and this is like where everything is growing. So I don't know, should I make that like a very light brown, or is that just gonna look like too brown? I'm also afraid it'll blend in with the potatoes too. So I'm definitely curious about your opinions. Morning, guys. So we're just painting the sky here. I might need to get my smaller brush in here. Starting to get, you can see it's a little bit more detailed over here. So trying to get this small brush in here. And I think I mentioned this yesterday, but like once once this all dries, I have a pen, like a paint pen, that will go in all of these crevices and kind of fix any of this extra paint. And it'll also define like it'll define like all of the different, all of the space here. So like the paint pen will just go in here and it'll define all of these lines and it'll make everything look like super crisp. But I hope to grow beets that actually look like this in carrots. The bed that I put my carrots in and my beets, like it has some sort of weed in it that it kind of looks like carrots, like when it's starting to grow. So I can't really pull it right now because I'm like afraid I'm gonna accidentally be pulling my carrots. So I kind of have to let it like grow with the carrot seeds right now until I can figure out like what's carrots and what's weeds, which is super unfortunate. I'm hoping it doesn't like totally choke out all of my carrots, um, because I'm kind of hoping to have a lot of carrots to store throughout the winter. One thing I have to show you guys, in my garden tour or like my homestead tour, is we actually have, from the guy that we bought this from, he had like in-ground storage, or there's like a cold storage. So he has like two, they're probably like 7, 8, 9 feet deep, and then he has like a latch over it, and so you can keep your like your potatoes and your carrots in there all winter long, and that like helps keep them good. You got to put like sand or something in there, with the potatoes, that'll kind of keep it from rotting. But then like as long as you keep it latched really well, like obviously like the ground is a little bit warmer. Like if, when you go underground, it's a little bit warmer than like the above ground. Like it's kind of insulated from the temperatures below. And that's why, like, if you've ever done, like, if you ever heard of like geothermal heating and stuff, that's kind of how that works too. Like, the water will go down to like the warmer parts of the ground. But, anyways, it keeps it, from freezing because it's far enough below the ground, and we get like negatives up here and lots of snow. But it'll keep your stuff good all winter long, and as long as you keep it latched, it'll keep it away from like mice. Really, mice are probably your biggest winter pest around here. Um, and certainly it's a battle keeping them out of the house too. But yeah, it's really cool, and I'm really excited to try and figure it out. I'm like a little nervous to do it. I'm like, I don't want to like fall in this hole and be trapped, especially um, like once I'm here on my own and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe if I ever go in there, I'll have to like let someone know and be like, if you don't hear from me, I probably fell in my cold storage. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to get that in use and figure that out. That's like the one thing I'm most nervous about with the garden, probably, besides like just generally growing things that live and produce, vegetables and fruit. But is trying to figure out how to like properly preserve things and make sure that nothing goes to waste. I've definitely learned a lot about canning in the last few years, so that's been helpful. And I think we're going to get a freeze dryer, so I'm hopeful for that, that will be like a really good option for things. But I would like to learn how to store things just like in their natural state, like squash. Squash can be stored for like months and months and months. Same with onions and garlic and potatoes. And so I just want to learn how to like properly store those things so that I don't have to do like any processing. Because like honestly, if you can avoid doing processing with some stuff, like there's things that can't wait, like tomatoes or peppers, like things that are gonna go bad quicker. And tomatoes, obviously, you can freeze if you're making sauce into them, which I have done in the past. Like, especially if you have tomato varieties that don't get all like fruit or ripe at the same time, then you can just throw it in the freezer. You can core them and freeze them, and then when you're ready and you have enough to make sauce, or you just like want to do it all in one batch instead of trying to um, do like a couple jars here, a couple jars there. It's a lot of work to like set everything up, whereas it's not that much more work to just make like huge batches of like tomato sauce or something. So, but you can freeze it, and then when you're ready to use it, you just thaw it out and you cook it and you boil it down, which is probably what I'll do depending on how much I get. Maybe I'll have to do that in batches still, and maybe I'll have some people come over and help me. We usually, like with my family, my aunt Laura, or my aunt is like the one who does a lot of homesteading and gardening, and so she has lots and lots of tomato plants, and we usually go up by her and help her can all of her stuff at like one time. She still does stuff on the side for sure because it's not enough to do all in one weekend, but we'll usually can a ton with her and get like a big bulk done together. So there'll be like, you know, 5, 6 of us canning and getting stuff processed, which definitely makes it a lot easier to manage. You can see kind of the progress here so far. So the sky and the sun, and then this is, I'm not really sure what I made this, maybe a beet, a turnip, potato, and then got carrots and beets in the sun. And it's really like, now that the background is coming on, it's starting to look really, really good. I love the color blue. I feel like it's just like super summery, super springy. If you're just joining, I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for Mother's Day. If you have any big plans, whether you're a mom or doing something for your own mom. You guys can see how it's coming along. Really making progress with this blue. Looks really good. I still haven't decided if I want to do blue on the top and like light brown on the bottom. I don't know what you guys think. Can't decide. Or even like purple, like a light purple on the bottom or something. Like that way it's still kind of bright and fun, but maybe like changes up some of the colors. I don't know. Gotta move my feet out again. A little bit. Alright. If anyone's going to brunch day, I'm curious how much it costs because every brunch around here is like always so expensive. And I feel like it's always supposed to make it like easier for the mom or something. I don't know. I can't pay like $30 for a brunch, but I don't know. Especially when I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I've kind of been soured going out to restaurants in general now because ever since I started like learning how to cook myself, especially from scratch, because I just a lot of times, and I don't mean this in like I'm a really good cook kind of way, but like I honestly feel like a lot of times I can make things better at home. And it's mostly just because a lot of stuff in the stores, or like in the restaurants, aren't made from scratch. It's like it's stuff that they buy, in bulk or whatever from like a restaurant store and just like heat up and stuff. And so for me, I'm like, if it's like a restaurant like that, I don't even want to go because I'll just make it at home. You know what I mean? Especially like since I've learned how to make harder things like homemade pizza and like homemade noodles, gnocchi, all that stuff. Like for me, it's just been like and the price. Like, and I'm not saying that it's not worth it or that these people don't have to make money because they do. And certainly I am happy to pay for convenience a lot of the time. But like on a regular basis, I know I can make things way cheaper at home. And so for me, like that's the hardest thing for me to stomach is like, okay, no, I can make this at home and I can make it for like a quarter of the price. We don't need to go out to eat. Um, so like for me, that's like definitely the biggest thing I struggle with going out to eat. And of course, having toddlers, it's at the age where it's just like if food doesn't come within 20 minutes, it's like a struggle for everyone. And like of course, like they're toddlers, they don't want to sit still, and like that's developmentally normal. So for like, but for us, it's just like I don't know. I find that the middle ground is like going to like a Culver's or something, um, and like that way, the food comes quickly, but it kind of feels a little restauranty because it has like a nicer inside feel. It's not like totally fast food feel. Or like there's this local place that we went to yesterday actually because I had some errands and yeah, that was me in the car. My son was like, I'm hungry. I was like, oh no. Like we had just all eaten breakfast, but I was like, hey, we'll grab something on the way. But we stopped at this like local kind of cafe by me, and it's kind of got a very casual vibe, and they have like ice cream sandwiches and stuff. And so my son really likes it because obviously ice cream sandwiches. And so like yeah, we just stopped there, and that's like a good middle ground for us to go where he can kind of run around, be a little rambunctious. I don't have to worry about like totally bothering anyone, but it still feels like we're kind of going out to like a restaurant or something. So I'm just doing a second coat on a lot of these just to kind of get a solid color foundation. I think I'm approaching the time where I need to start waking up my household so that we can get to church on time. I feel like getting up on Sunday sometimes is really hard, especially after a long week. We have a long commute to church, longer than normal, I guess, most people, and a decently early start time. All right, so this is the progress I've made today, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and we're gonna keep working on it throughout the week. But thanks so much for joining, you guys. I always appreciate you guys. We'll chat soon, and I'll have a video up pretty soon on our garden progress. And yeah, I'm hoping you guys are excited to see it because I'm definitely excited to share. It's gonna be really, really fun. So I will see you guys soon.